All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is V. Ravi Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address IPS probationers at Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy at 11 a.m. today. The 12th round of co-commander level talks between India and China to be held today at the Moldo border point on the Chinese side of the Line of Actual Control LAC in eastern Ladakh. Nation's COVID vaccination coverage crosses landmark milestone of 46 crore. Over 227,000 pregnant women receive first dose of vaccine. Six-member central team reaches Kerala to closely analyze and control the spread of COVID infection in 10 selected districts of the state. Director General of Civil Aviation issues circular announcing scheduled international commercial flight suspension till 31st of August. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to provide 10 lakh rupees financial help to families of journalists who lost their lives in the second wave of COVID-19. Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand school board results for class 10th and 12th to be announced today. Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya informs 10 crore families covered under Ayushman Bharat scheme and 50 crore people are eligible for free treatment up to 5 lakh rupees. And in Tokyo Olympics, Kamalpreet Kaur enters women's discus throw finals. India's quest for another medal continues today. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also to help others to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address IPS probationers at Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy, SVPNPA, today at 11 a.m. through video conferencing. The Prime Minister will also interact with the probationers during the event in which Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Minister of State for Home Nityanand Rai will also be present. It may be recalled that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while interacting with IPS probationers last September, had underlined the importance of police-public relations, the reciprocal attitude of the police and the public to the expected and performed tasks of the police, and to involve general public relations, community services and community participation.
हमारे देश में समाज की शक्ति कितनी जबरदस्त है। सरकार से भी अनेक गुना शक्ति समाज में होती है। हम शासन व्यवस्था में जन शक्ति को जितना जोड़ने की आदत डालेंगे, इवन इन पुलिसिंग, आप देखिए हमारी सरलता भी बहुत बढ़ जाएगी, हमारे विश्वास का व्याप भी बढ़ेगा और हम बहुत ही कम एफर्ट से मैक्सिमम रिजल्ट ले पाएंगे और उसमें हिस्सेदार होने वाला हर नागरिक ये सक्सेस को अपनी सक्सेस मानेगा। जब ये स्थिति बनती है तब शासन में बैठे हुए अधिकारियों की, हमारे मुलाजिमों की ताकत अनेक गुना बढ़ जाती है।
SVPNPA, the premier police training institution in the country, is situated in the historic city of Hyderabad. It trains officers of the Indian Police Service who have been selected through an all-India-based civil services examination. The 12th round of co-commander level talks between India and China will be held today. Official sources said the talks are scheduled to start at 10:30 a.m. at the Moldo border point on the Chinese side of the Line of Actual Control LAC in eastern Ladakh. The Indian delegation at the talks will be led by the commander of the Leh-based 14 Corps, Lieutenant General P.G.K. Menon. The 11th round of the high-level military talks had taken place on the 9th of April this year at the Chushul border point on the Indian side of the LAC. More from our correspondent.
During the 11th round of talks on 9th April this year, the two sides had a detailed exchange of views for the resolution of the remaining issues related to disengagement along the LAC in eastern Ladakh. The two sides had agreed on the need to resolve the outstanding issues in an expeditious manner in accordance with the existing agreements and protocols. In this context, it was also highlighted that completion of disengagement in other areas would pave the way for two sides to consider de-escalation of forces and ensure full restoration of peace and tranquility and enable progress in bilateral relations. The two sides had agreed that it was important to take guidance from the consensus of the leaders, continue their communication and dialogue, and work towards a mutually acceptable resolution of the remaining issues at the earliest. They also had agreed to jointly maintain stability on the ground, avoid any new incidents, and jointly maintain peace in the border areas. Anupam Mishra, AIR News, Delhi.
The Rajya Sabha has passed the Coconut Development Board Amendment Bill 2021. It was passed without discussion amid opposition uproar. The bill seeks to make the post of Chairman Coconut Development Board as a non-executive one. The number of members of the board has been raised from 4 to 6 after the amendment. Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat will be able to nominate their representatives in the board. Under the Ayushman Bharat scheme, 10 crore families have been covered in the country. Minister of Health and Family Welfare Mansukh Mandaviya yesterday informed the Lok Sabha that now 50 crore people are eligible for free treatment of up to an amount of 5 lakh rupees under the scheme.
50 करोड़ लोगों को 5 लाख तक की साल में मुफ्त ट्रीटमेंट होना, मुफ्त ऑपरेशन होना, ये बहुत बड़ी योजना है। हिंदुस्तान में ये आदत नहीं रही है और उससे गरीब लोगों को बहुत सुविधा हो रही है, गरीब लोगों को बहुत राहत हो रही है और कई गरीब लोग आज तक देश में उसका लाभ ले चुके हैं, भविष्य में भी लेते रहेंगे। इस तरह से देश के गरीब लोगों को स्वास्थ्य की सुविधा मिले, ऑपरेशन की सुविधा मिले, इसलिए भारत सरकार प्रतिबद्धता से काम कर रही है।
The minister said the Ayushman Bharat scheme is 5 times bigger than the much-hyped Obamacare, the health cover of the USA. Replying to a supplementary question, Mr. Mandaviya said in the House, the government is promoting a favorable environment for organ donation. He said for the accessible organ transplantation, the government has taken several initiatives. A report.
Ayushman Bharat, a flagship scheme of Government of India, was launched as recommended by the National Health Policy 2017 to achieve the vision of universal health coverage. This initiative has been designed to meet Sustainable Development Goals and its underlying commitment, which is to leave no one behind. Ayushman Bharat is an attempt to move from sectoral and segmented approach of health service delivery to a comprehensive, need-based healthcare service. This scheme aims to undertake path-breaking interventions to holistically address the healthcare system at the primary, secondary and tertiary level by adopting a continuum of care approach. Ravi Kumar, News Desk.
The country's COVID vaccination coverage crossed the landmark milestone of 46 crore yesterday. Union Health Ministry said more than 44,38,000 vaccine doses have been administered yesterday. The new phase of universalization of COVID-19 vaccination commenced from 21st of June. Over 20,96,000 vaccine doses were administered as first dose and more than 3,41,000 vaccine doses given as second dose in the age group 18 to 44 years yesterday. Cumulatively, over 15 crore 17 lakh persons across 37 states and UTs have received their first dose and over 80 lakh have received their second dose since the start of phase 3 of the vaccination drive. The Health Ministry informed that over 2,27,000 pregnant women have received their first dose of COVID-19 vaccine under the ongoing national COVID vaccination drive in less than a month. This is a result of regular counseling of pregnant women by health workers and medical officers about risks of COVID-19 infection to pregnant women and benefits of COVID-19 vaccination. National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization had recommended vaccination for pregnant women, leading to inclusion of pregnant women in COVID vaccination drive. Tamil Nadu is leading the way by vaccinating over 78,838 pregnant women, followed by Andhra Pradesh with over 34,000 and Odisha with 29,821.
The central government has provided over 48 crore 3 lakh COVID vaccine doses to states and union territories so far. The Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry has said that more than 2 crore 92 lakh unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and the union territories to be administered to the beneficiaries. It assured that more than 71 lakh 16,000 vaccine doses will be received by the states and union territories in the coming days. Confederation of Indian Industry CII has entered into an agreement with the Serum Institute of India SII to speed up the vaccination program in partnership with industry, including healthcare providers. The vaccination drive will target communities in countries, small towns and rural areas to increase the coverage. CII and SII partnership will ensure to connect hospitals and corporates to fast-track vaccination, which is necessary for post-pandemic growth of the country. The Union Health Ministry said the country reported over 44,000 new cases in the last 24 hours and the active caseload is now at 4,05,155 and constitutes 1.28% of the total cases. The recovery rate is now at 97.38%. More than 42,000 patients have recovered during the last 24 hours. The daily positivity rate is at 2.44%. And 555 deaths have also been reported in the last 24 hours.
Kerala continues to report a surge in COVID-19 cases as it confirmed 20,772 new infection cases yesterday. The test positivity rate has also increased to 13.61%. 116 COVID deaths were also reported, taking the overall death toll to 16,701. Meanwhile, 14,651 people recovered from the infection and at present over 150,000 people are undergoing treatment. As Kerala is witnessing an unprecedented surge in COVID cases, a central team has reached the state to take stock of the ongoing situation and to ensure complete assistance from the union government. The 6-member team led by National Disease Control Director Sujit Kumar Singh will work in 2 groups to closely analyze the spread of the infection in 10 selected districts of the state. The central team's visit to Kerala is to control the rate of spread of the ongoing pandemic. In a bid to encourage and honor the tireless and unparalleled contribution of the media persons and to support their families, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will provide rupees 10 lakh financial help to the families of those journalists who lost their lives in the second wave of COVID in the state. We have more from our correspondent.
Families of a total of 36 journalists will receive the financial assistance of 10 lakh rupees. The check of the financial help will be distributed in a function in state capital today. Chief Minister will himself hand over the checks to the family persons of the journalists. CM Yogi Adityanath had announced rupees 10 lakh financial aid for family members of scribes who died due to COVID-19. Making the announcement in May month this year, the Chief Minister had said that his government is committed to provide all support to journalists and will continue to encourage them. During the second wave of the pandemic, many journalists across the state got infected on duty and lost their lives, leaving their families helpless. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Jharkhand government has decided to relax restrictions for business establishments and educational institutions amid a consistent dip in COVID-19 cases in the state. As per the new guidelines, offline classes for students from classes 9 to 12 can resume, but schools will stay open till 12 noon and children will be allowed to attend only with the permission of parents. Colleges can also reopen for the final year of both undergraduate and postgraduate courses. Students are required to be vaccinated with at least 1 dose. Other relaxations also include permissions for cinema halls and multiplexes to resume service at 50% capacity. In Uttar Pradesh, the UP Madhyamik Shiksha Parishad Board, popularly known as UP Board, will announce its result for class 10 and 12 today at 3:30 p.m. The results will be available on the following websites: upmsp.edu.in and upresults.nic.in. This is for the first time that the board exam results will be released in the state without any exams. No merit list will be released this year. Around 56 lakh students are waiting for the UP board results.
Uttarakhand Board of Secondary Education will declare its 10th and 12th class examination results today. Students can visit the official website of the board to check the results. The official website is unse.uk.gov.in. Due to the pandemic, the board examinations were cancelled and UBSC has evaluated the students as per the last year's performance.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address IPS probationers at Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy at 11 a.m. today. The 12th round of Corps Commander level talks between India and China to be held today at the Moldo border point on the Chinese side of the Line of Actual Control LAC in eastern Ladakh. Nation's COVID vaccination coverage crosses the landmark milestone of 46 crore. Over 2,27,000 pregnant women received the first dose of the vaccine. 6-member central team reaches Kerala to closely analyze and control the spread of COVID infection in 10 selected districts of the state. Director General of Civil Aviation issues circular announcing scheduled international commercial flight suspension till 31st of August. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to provide 10 lakh rupees financial help to families of journalists who lost their lives in the second wave of COVID-19. Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand School Board results for classes 10 and 12 to be announced today. Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya informs 10 crore families covered under Ayushman Bharat scheme and 50 crore people eligible for free treatment up to 5 lakh rupees. And in Tokyo Olympics, Kamalpreet Kaur enters women's discus throw finals. India's quest for another medal continues today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
The Director General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, issued a circular yesterday saying that scheduled international commercial flights will remain suspended till 31st of August. However, the restrictions will not be applicable on international cargo operations and flights specifically approved by DGCA. The Director General of Civil Aviation said that international scheduled flights may be allowed on selected routes by the competent authority on a case-to-case basis. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Tanveer Ahmed Khan of South Kashmir's Kulgam district has brought laurels to Jammu and Kashmir by qualifying in the Indian Economic Services IES examination conducted by Union Public Service Commission UPSC and acquiring second rank nationally. The youth from Kund Naginpura is the first one from Jammu and Kashmir to have the distinction of qualifying in this prestigious examination. The Postal Department has made special arrangements for handling of Rakhi mails. Department of Posts has said that special posting counters are being set up in 34 important post offices of Delhi.
Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture Meenakshi Lekhi participated in the G20 Culture Ministers meeting yesterday, hosted by Italy. She addressed participants of the meeting and presented India's perspective on the topic culture and creative sectors as drivers for growth. The minister outlined the significance of culture and creative sectors in providing economic growth and employment, as well as its potential to give more opportunities to women, youth, and to local communities. She highlighted various measures taken by India to develop culture and creative sectors like One District, One Product scheme of Uttar Pradesh government, tourism circuits, and promotion of yoga and Ayurveda. At the end of the discussions, the G20 Ministers of Culture adopted the G20 Culture Working Group terms of reference. India has covered 92.8% seeding of ration cards with Aadhaar numbers. The states and union territories have completed the Aadhaar seeding of about 21.91 crore ration cards and around 71 crore beneficiaries at the national level.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, 2 unidentified terrorists were gunned down in a gunfight that broke out between security forces and terrorists in South Kashmir's Pulwama district a short while ago. J&K police in its recent tweet said that the location of the encounter site is between Nabibiya and Marsar in general area of Dashigam forests in Pulwama district. Meanwhile, the search operation between the joint team of security forces and the terrorists is underway. Further details are awaited. In Afghanistan, at least 13 Taliban fighters were killed and 16 others injured in operations conducted by Afghanistan National Defense and Security Forces at the outskirts of Takhar Provincial Center on Thursday. The Ministry of Defense said yesterday that some amount of their weapons, ammunition and equipment were destroyed. Over the past few weeks, Afghanistan has been witnessing a surge in violence as the Taliban has intensified its offensive with the complete pullback of foreign forces just a few weeks before.
India's quest for another medal continues today at the Tokyo Olympics. With several athletes just a win away from increasing the country's medals tally, Indian contingent is aiming to rise to the occasion today. Olympic debutante Kamalpreet Kaur entered the final of the women's discus throw with her third attempt of 64 meters in the Group B event, which was also the qualification mark. India's national record holder Kamalpreet finished second in qualification. The final will be held on 2nd August. However, athlete Seema Punia could not qualify for the women's discus throw. She gave her best of 60.57 meters. In a huge upset for India in boxing, top seed and favourite Amit Panghal bowed out after losing to Yubergen Martinez of Colombia 1-4 in pre-quarterfinals of men's flyweight event. India's campaign in archery ended this morning as Otonu Das failed to qualify for the quarterfinals after losing to Takaharu Furukawa of Japan 4-6 in a close battle of bows in the men's individual event. Indian women's hockey team is locking horns with South Africa in a must-win Pool A match. The Indian Eves have kept the quarter-final hopes alive after registering their first win against Ireland 1-0 yesterday. All India Radio is broadcasting a live commentary of the match. It is available on the FM Rainbow channel and additional frequencies. The commentary is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official, and the News on AIR app. In equestrian, second day of the dressage round of individual section featuring India's Fawad Mirza atop his horse Senior Medicot is also underway. Fawad was at the 7th position following the 2 sessions of dressage round yesterday. In shooting, Tejaswini Sawant and Anjum Maudgil are testing their skills in the qualification round of the women's 50-meter rifle 3 positions. If they qualify, they will be seen in the finals of the event in the afternoon. In sailing, the 10th race of men's skiff 49er event will begin with participation of Kherpanda Ganapati and Varun Thakkar. In badminton, Rio Olympic silver medalist PV Sindhu will face world number 1 Tai Tse Ying of Chinese Taipei in the women's singles semi-finals. Pugilist Pooja Rani will clash with Chan Li of China in the quarterfinals of the women's middleweight 69 to 75 kilogram category.
Meanwhile, India witnessed one of its best days at the 32nd Summer Olympics game yesterday as women athletes lived up to the expectations of 1 billion plus people back home. Here are some of the highlights of the Indian contingent's performance at the Tokyo Games.
India secured its second Olympic medal when debutant boxer Lavlina Borgohain stormed into the semi-finals in welterweight 69kg category, outpunching Chen Yanqing of Chinese Taipei. She will meet Turkey's Buzane Surmeneli in the semi-finals on 4th August. In badminton, Rio Olympic silver medalist PV Sindhu sailed into the semi-finals, defeating Japan's Akane Yamaguchi 21-13, 22-20 in the women's singles. In one of its best performances at Olympics in last few decades, Indian men's hockey team thrashed Japan 5-3 in their final Pool A match to finish on the 2nd position behind Australia in the group stage. They will face Great Britain in quarterfinals tomorrow. The Indian women's hockey also kept the quarterfinal hopes alive after registering their first win against Ireland 1-0. However, the day also brought some disappointment for India. In archery, Deepika Kumari's run came to an end after she lost to Korea's San An 0-6 in the quarterfinals of women's individual recurve event. In boxing, Simranjeet Kaur made an early exit after going down fighting against Sudapon Sesonde of Thailand in round of 16 bout in the women's lightweight 60kg event. India's shooters ended their campaign too after failing to qualify for the finals of 25-meter women's individual. Promising athletes failed to deliver in the track and field events. Sprinter Duti Chand, the national record holder, could not clear the heats of women's 100 meters race. Avinash Sable also missed out on a place in the final of 3000 meters steeplechase despite bettering his earlier national record in heats. MP Jabir also failed to clear the heats of men's 400-meter hurdles. Indian team couldn't cross the heats of mixed 4x400 team relay event. Indian equestrian rider Fawad Mirza astride his horse Senior Medicot finished 7th in the individual rankings following the first 2 sessions of dressage round of individual eventing section yesterday. Swati Rakheja, AIR News.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is likely to experience generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will rise from a minimum of 25 to a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain and the temperature will hover between 26 and 31 degrees Celsius. Chennai is expected to have a partly cloudy sky with the temperature varying between 28 and 35 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The city noted a minimum temperature of 28 while the maximum is expected to be around 33 degrees Celsius. Srinagar will experience a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The temperature will hover between 19 and 29 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have thunderstorm with rain. It witnessed minimum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 32 degrees. Leh is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The lower limit of temperature was 13 degrees Celsius while the upper limit will be nearly 26 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle and temperature will hover between 18 and 36 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will experience thunderstorms. The minimum temperature was 19 and the maximum will be around 26 degrees. Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The city noted minimum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 34 degrees. Imphal will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. It recorded a minimum temperature of 22 and the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Shillong will experience generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperature will hover between 18 and 25 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Win-win for all. CBSE Class 12 has near perfect pass score reached the Times of India headline. Record 99.37% pass CBSE Class 12 exam. KVs do best at 100%, reports the Asian Age. In pandemic year, record 70,000 get more than 95% in CBSE Class 12, headlines the Indian Express. No shield against the most contagious Delta variant, headlines the Pioneer. Delta variant can spread as easily as chickenpox, reports the Statesman. Both papers have quoted the USA's Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Military talks today, pullback from hot springs, Gogra on agenda, headlines Tribune. On the 12th round of India-China talks today. In Olympic news from Tokyo, the top headline in the Hindu reads, Lavlina assures India of her second medal. Most dailies carry her photo on their front page, celebrating her win over world champion Nyen Chin Chan. Flawless Sindhu crushes fancy Japanese rival, writes Hindustan Times.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address IPS probationers at Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy at 11 a.m. today. The 12th round of co-commander level talks between India and China to be held today at the Moldo border point on the Chinese side of the Line of Actual Control LAC in eastern Ladakh. Nation's COVID vaccination coverage crosses landmark milestone of 46 crore. Over 2,27,000 pregnant women receive first dose of vaccine. 6-member central team reaches Kerala to closely analyze and control the spread of COVID infection in 10 selected districts of the state. Director General of Civil Aviation issues circular announcing scheduled international commercial flight suspension till 31st of August. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to provide 10 lakh rupees financial help to families of journalists who lost their lives in the second wave of COVID-19. Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand School Board results for Class 10 and 12 to be announced today. Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya informs 10 crore families covered under Ayushman Bharat scheme and 50 crore people are eligible for free treatment up to 5 lakh rupees. And in Tokyo Olympics, Kamalpreet Kaur enters women's discus throw finals. India's quest for another medal continues today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on Air app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.